Good morning. Welcome. Let's take a few breaths here, quietly closing our eyes, helping to center ourselves and just find ourselves present on our mats this morning. Sitting in a comfortable position of your choice, either cross-legged or seated. And just close your eyes, stack your spine, shoulders over hips. Just find some quietness, some peace. Inhale your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale them down the back body. Inhale the shoulders up to the ears, breathing deep into the belly. Exhaling down the back body. Inhaling up to the ears. Exhaling down the back body. And as you're sitting here, bring your hands into prayer at your heart center and just giving yourself an intention for this practice. We use our intention to steady our mind, help connect the mind with our breath, and just help us focus. Taking a moment here to create an intention of your desire. If nothing comes to you naturally, a simple, great go-to intention is practicing gratitude. Gratitude for all that we have. It's sometimes easy to get caught up in the negatives or the needing more, but there's still so much to be thankful for. Just the ability to walk, to hear, to see, the ability to have food, to have shelter, to have friendships, to have Zoom or social media to connect us with people. There's so much to be thankful for. Once you found your intention, inhaling your arms up towards the sky, bringing your hands down and away from you. Great. And then we'll come onto all fours and we'll come into cat-cow. So we're going to stack our hips on top of our knees. Our knees are about hip-width distance apart. We're going to press our hands into the earth, pressing our hands wide, outstretching the fingers as wide apart from each other as possible. And really not trying to dump into the wrist, but trying to press predominantly through the thumb and the pointer finger and the knuckles. So really evenly distributing your weight here. If you find there's too much pain or discomfort in your wrist, you could outstretch your hands just a little touch forward. So just see where you're at. Be gentle with yourself. Inhale, dropping the belly towards the spine, collarbones spreading wide. Maybe your gaze goes upward. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, belly drops towards the spine. Belly drops towards the earth. Exhale, rounding the back body like an angry cat, pressing the earth away from you. Inhale, belly to the earth. Exhale, rounding the back body, pressing the ground away from you. Moving as fast or as slow as you like, just warming up the spine, going through each of the vertebrae. Exhaling and rounding the back body. Inhaling, dropping the belly towards the earth. Exhaling and rounding the back body. We'll do this for another minute or so, moving at your own pace, as fast or as slow as you like. Just rounding out the spine, preparing the body for some movement. Imagining the movement starting at the base of the tailbone, through the back line, moving like a wave through the body, through each of the vertebrae. When you're ready, coming to a neutral position. And we're going to come into our first pose. We're going to come into a puppy stretch. So grabbing your pillow or maybe a towel, giving yourself a little bit of an added cushion under the knees perhaps is really nice. You can even fold your mat in half, just giving yourself that added padded cushion. Bringing the knees down. Again, the knees are about hip width distance apart. And then you're going to walk your hands forward. And you're going to keep your booty popped high in the air. Walk the hands forward. Your booty and your hips are stacked over your knees. And you're going to bring your forehead center down to the earth. If your head is hanging in space and you can't reach the earth, perhaps use another pillow or stack your hands. Do something to bring the earth to you so you don't leave your head hanging in space. Take a moment to set up your foundation. Micro adjust anywhere you need to. Pressing about 10% of the weight into the hands, into the fingertips. Unshrugging the shoulders. The shoulders are plugged in down the back body. The neck is long. The eyebrow center is connected to the earth. And letting your belly sink like a hammock. Your belly gently sinks towards the earth. Breathing in deep into the belly. Inhaling nourishment. Sighing out whatever you no longer need. Inhaling nourishment. And detoxing with the exhales. Feeling some weight in your forearms. And again, there's about 10-20% weight in your eyebrow center, so you're not dumping all the weight into the head. Perhaps you're feeling this in your shoulder blades, your thoracic spine. And just remembering to be gentle with yourself. Don't push yourself too hard. The idea with Yin Yoga is less is more. We're trying to go to our first edge of sensation, our first edge of sensation, tension, discomfort, and breathing into that place, creating space with the breath, opening up with the breath. And then if the body allows us, we can go a little deeper and a little further. But just trying to find that Goldilocks spot. And asking yourself, can I stay here? Can I hold this pose? Can I breathe here for a few minutes? If not, you can always back off. Or you can come out of the pose, rest, come back into the pose. And remembering to listen to your body. I'm here as a guide, but listening to your body, deciphering the difference between tension and discomfort, and pain. Pain is sharp, pain is shooting. If you feel pain in any of the poses, always come out and rest. But if you feel sensation or discomfort, try not to run from it. Try to breathe into it. Breathing deep into the belly. Finding nourishment with the inhales. Stay here for 6 more breaths. Maybe your belly swoops a millimeter or so closer to the earth. completed your 6 breaths, pressing into your forearms, walking your hands towards you, moving slowly and gingerly. Perhaps removing the pillow, perhaps leaving it there. We're going to come into a resting pose, child's pose or wisdom pose. So child's pose is when your big toes are touching and your knees go wide. And then you drop your booty towards your heels, and you can outstretch your arms in front of you, or you can stack your hands and rest your eyebrow center on the backs of your hands. Wisdom pose is when we bring our knees side by side together, and we just bring our eyebrow center, our forehead down towards the earth, and let our palms and our hands reach towards our feet. Our palms are facing upward. So just finding a resting pose that feels good for you. Getting settled in that pose. Using a cushion under the backs of the knees or on top of the shins or on top of the calves if needed. And once you're in the pose, taking a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale and sighing out the mouth. Deep inhale in through the nose. Exhaling and sighing out the mouth. One more deep inhale in through the nose, noticing the belly pressing into the thighs with the inhale. Exhale and sighing out the mouth. And just finding some stillness here. Connecting with your breath. Softening the back body. Noticing the back body balloon up with the inhale. Inhale fills the back body. And then the belly gently draws towards the spine with the exhale. We'll prepare the body for movement, bringing the hands beside the face or the head, pressing into the earth, pressing your way up. Excellent. And you come up, just stacking the shoulders over the hips. Roll the shoulders back. And now we're going to come into pigeon pose. So I'll give you 2 variations of the pose. The first variation will be the full variation of the pose. Pigeon pose is when we bring our right knee towards our right wrist. And you could square the shin in front of you, but that's quite extreme. So you're welcome to keep your heel and ankle closer into your groin. I find that's a little more protective and nourishing. You can extend the left leg long behind you. If you feel any discomfort in your knee, you're welcome to put a pillow just on top or just on the lower end of the left thigh so that you're not dumping into your knee. Just raises the floor for you. Taking time to outstretch that left leg. You're pressing your hands into the earth. There's a lot going on here. Flexing the right toes towards the right knee. Trying to imagine squaring your hips. Almost one day your hips would be like 2 headlights facing forward. That day isn't here for me yet, so don't force yourself, don't pressure yourself. Just work with where you're at. Unshrugging the shoulders down the back body. The neck is long. There's space between the ears and the shoulders. So not shrugging up, but finding space and length through the neck. Perhaps using a cushion if you've noticed that your right butt is hanging in the air. You could bring the pillow and prop it in under your glute for a little added support and cushioning. So this is the first variation of the pose. We will be holding it for a few minutes. That's too difficult. The second variation of the pose is rolling onto your back and just making a figure four. So a reverse pigeon. A figure four with your right leg over your left knee, reaching between the leg and holding and clasping onto the base below the left knee, or perhaps holding onto the back of the left thigh, using your right elbow into the right thigh as a little bit of resistance, engaging the right toes by flexing them towards the knee. This helps to protect the knee, pressing the back body into the earth. The base of the skull is into the earth. And just noticing if you're teetering over to the right side, maybe trying to evenly distribute your back body into the earth. And go back to pigeon. There's no right or wrong version of the pose. Listen to your body, listen to where you're at today, and just honor that. If you're in pigeon, perhaps you want to slowly make your way down. You can come down onto your forearms, resting your forearms into the earth. Maybe outstretching your head, imagining your head's like the Egyptian Sphinx cat. Shoulder blades are down the back body. There's weight in the back of that left foot. The top of the left foot's pressing into the earth. There's weight in a little bit in the left thigh. There's weight in your forearms, the right leg as well. Imagining the breath traveling up through the sole of the left foot, up the leg, up the back body, to the top of the head, and then on the exhale, down towards the earth, cascading over the head towards the earth like a waterfall, creating a circuit walk with the breath. Imagining the inhales traveling up the sole of the foot, up the back of the left leg, up the back body, and then exhaling, cascading like a waterfall over the head towards the earth. Keep following the breath. This pose is very challenging, so checking in to see if you're holding any tension. Perhaps you're clenching your jaw. Maybe you can soften that, creating a space between your molars. Just telling yourself to soften your face. Breathing through this pose. This really helps with the lower back, the glutes, the hamstrings. And then if you want to take it a notch further, you can bring your forearms down to the ground and rest your eyebrow center on top of your hands. Remembering that this is not necessary. You can attempt it, you can come out and come back in, just listening to yourself, but try not to let the mind chase you out of the pose. Sometimes our mind is our biggest obstacle. It tells us, I can't do this, I can't stay here. And you may be surprised if you just try to breathe, close your eyes, turn your gaze inward, find some steadiness on the breath. You may be able to breathe through discomfort. You may be able to breathe through the sensation, creating space, creating nourishment for the body. wherever you're at in the pose, we'll take 6 more breaths there. Full breath. Breathing deep into the belly. Breathing deep and nourishing into the belly. When you're ready, pressing into the earth, pressing your way up, outstretching that leg behind you, perhaps just kicking the leg back, outstretching it long, pressing into the toes, outstretching the left leg, and then coming into a resting pose of your choice, wisdom or child's pose. I'm going to take child's pose, so my knees are going to go wide, my big toes are going to touch. I'm going to drop my bottom towards my heels. You may want to use some added cushioning, even if you don't need it. Sometimes it's nice to give yourself a little extra support. Bringing your forehead down towards the earth, remembering not to let your head hang in space, so if your forehead doesn't connect to the earth, stacking your hands on top of each other or using a book to bring the earth to you. Shoulder blades are down the back body, the neck is long. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose, breathing deep into the belly, feeling the belly Buddha band expand. Exhaling and sign up. Just surrendering to the pose here. Resting, breathing. Noticing any sensation, perhaps in the right leg, in the hips. Pigeon pose is a deep hip opener. In Yin, we rest in between each pose, allowing the body to receive, allowing the body to reset, allowing the body to rest. And when you're ready, pressing into your hands, pressing your way up. The exciting thing is we have 2 sides, so we're going to do pigeon pose on the left side. So coming up into all fours, bringing your left knee towards your left wrist. I highly encourage you not to bring the left leg parallel to the front of your mat, but keep it closer in towards your groin. It's a little gentler, a little more supportive. Outstretch the right leg long behind you. Outstretching that right leg. Taking a moment to set up your foundation. Imagining like you wanted to square your hips forward one day. Stretching the left leg or the right leg. Engaging the left toes, flexing the toes towards the knee. This helps to protect the knee. Perhaps bringing your cushion and putting your cushion under your left hip, under your left butt for a little added support, a little added cushioning. checking if you're shrugging your shoulders to your ears, lengthening the neck. Shoulders are down the back body, long. There's weight in the back of that right foot. Imagining a string on the crown of your head, just drawing the crown of your head up towards the sky, and imagining the lower half of your body, gravity drawing it towards the earth. So really lengthening and stretching out the spine here, the neck, opening through the collarbones, pressing into the earth, pressing firmly through our knuckles and fingers. And if you want to, you can go into the alternative variation of pigeon pose, where you're laying on your back and you're creating a number 4 figure with your legs. Your left leg crosses over your right. You're reaching your left arm in between the legs. Your right arm reaches on the outside. And you can either clasp the hands just below the knee, the right knee, or you can clasp the hands behind the right thigh. You can press the right elbow into the left elbow into the left thigh, and then draw those legs towards you, flexing the left toes to protect the knee. So when I say flex the toes, that means the toes are just engaged and flexing towards the knee. Noticing if your head's off the ground, if you can't bring it to the ground, bring the earth to you by putting a cushion or something under your head. Perhaps you can bring the earth to you by just telling yourself to relax, find space, flatten the back body, connect it to the earth, chin slightly tucked down the center line. And as you breathe, maybe you'll be able to come a millimeter or so closer to your chest. I'm going to come back and meet you in pigeon. Pressing into the hands, breathing here, finding nourishment with the inhale, grounding down with the exhales. Pigeon pose is a deep hip opener. Hip openers are known to obviously release the hips and the lower back, but we hold a lot of emotions in our hips. So it's not uncommon to have an emotional sensation come over you, sometimes tears. It's our body releasing cortisol, it's our body releasing trapped or suppressed trauma. So don't be alarmed if you ever feel that, not just in this pose, but in many different poses. It's just your body releasing cortisol, stress, or emotional stress. Bringing your forearms down towards the earth. Again, just checking in with your shoulders and your neck, making sure that there's space and you're not sinking down, but really pressing into your elbows, your forearms, your hands. Remembering in Yin, we try to release all muscular engagement. So we're really trying to stack the bones and release the muscles. So imagining your muscles almost melting off of you. And just finding your breath, connecting with your breath. Remembering your intention. Carrying your intention with you throughout the practice, perhaps throughout the day, perhaps throughout your week. Softening your face. And then if you want to come into the full variation of the pose, you can bring your forehead down to the backs of your hands and let your forehead, eyebrow center rest on the backs of your hands. It's not necessary. Just give it a try, see where you're at. Breathing into sensation, breathing into discomfort, listening to the body, checking in to see if you can micro-adjust anywhere to be a little bit more comfortable. Checking in with your jaw, softening the space between the molars, softening your face, softening your eyebrow center, finding nourishment, buoyancy with the inhales, grounding down with the exhales, finding a sense of lightness and buoyancy with the inhales, and grounding down with the exhales. We'll take 5 more breaths here. Don't rush them, moving at your own pace wherever you're at. Completed your 5th breath, pressing into your hands, walking the hands towards you, and then out, carefully coming out of the pose, taking a moment, outstretching that left leg behind you, pressing into that left leg, maybe rocking back and forth. Blood flow back into the leg. Maybe outstretching the right leg. And then we'll come into a resting pose. We'll come into crocodile pose. So we're going to stack our hands on top of each other and bring our eyebrows center to rest on to the backs of our hands. Our toes, our feet are going to be about as wide as our mat, and our toes are going to be pointing inwards towards each other, and our heels are flopping outwards to the outer edges of our mat. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, breathing in through the nose, feeling the belly pressing into the earth, exhaling and sighing out the mouth. Deep inhale in through the nose, pressing the belly into the earth. Exhaling and sighing out the mouth. Completely letting yourself go here, just softening, releasing. Maybe swing the hips side to side, just releasing and relaxing the lower back. Our diaphragms are getting massaged by pressing into the earth. Really emphasizing each inhale and each exhale. When you're ready, we're going to roll onto our back, and we're going to come into a pose called Banana Asana. So rolling onto our back, lying as if you're just lying straight on the back on your mat in Shavasana. You're going to bring your arms up over your head, and you're going to hold on to you're going to use your left arm, and you're going to just hold on to your right wrist with your left arm, making a half moon or a banana shape. So you're holding on to the right wrist with the left hand, and you're gently drawing the body towards the left side. So a half banana or half moon shape. Then your left leg is at the outer left edge of the mat. You're going to bring your right leg up and over to bring it right beside your left ankle. So breathing here, your chin is slightly tucked down the center line. You should probably notice a little sensation or a little feeling in the right side of the body. Breathing deep into the belly, breathing deep into the rib cage, breathing into that place of sensation. And then picking up, if you want to go further, it's not necessary, but if you want to take it a notch further, you can pick up the right ankle and cross it on top of the left foot. So you're basically in a half moon or banana shape here. Checking in with your foundation. Seeing if you can micro adjust to be a little bit more comfortable. Breathing deep breaths into the right side of the body. Noticing the belly expand towards the sky with each inhale. And then fully exhaling by drawing the belly in towards the spine and exhaling any stagnant energy out. Softening your eyebrow center, softening your face. Softening your lips. Opening up the right side of the body. As the time passes and gravity does its work, we'll create space and openness just with the breath and this sustained hold. Noticing if there's any mind chatter, just gently bringing your attention back to your intention, back to your breath, staying present on our mat, staying present in our practice, staying present in whatever task we are doing. Remembering our breath is a tool that we can always use to help us stay present and focused. We can breathe through anything. I encourage you to stop in your days, stop when you're driving, stop when you're at the supermarket, when you're having an uncomfortable conversation. Just try and notice your breath. If you're breathing shallow breaths into your chest. If so, just reminding yourself to breathe deep into the belly. Deep breathing calms the nervous system, helps bring the body into homeostasis, into balance, helps lower anxiety, stress. Just utilizing the breath as a tool can make a big difference in our daily lives. Three more breaths here. You've completed your third breath, releasing the bind with your hands, uncrossing the feet, coming into Shavasana, a resting pose. So laying on your back, tucking your shoulders towards each other, chin tucks towards the chest, palms are facing upward, your feet are wide apart, wide as your mat. Take a deep inhale in through the nose, breathing deep into the belly. Exhaling and sighing out the mouth. Totally letting yourself go here. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just breathing, relaxing. When you're ready, we'll prepare for banana pose on the right side. Staying in Shavasana, inhaling your arms up over your head, and then gently just inch towards the right side, perhaps with your upper back inching towards the right side of the mat, and then just holding on to your left wrist with your right hand. So right hand clasped around the left wrist, keeping your arms towards the earth. So it might be a subtle movement. You don't have to be so dramatic in a complete C shape. You want to be able to keep your shoulders connected to the earth. Just breathe here for a moment. And then bring your left foot to meet the right, and just bring your left foot side by side to your right foot. Notice any sensation, notice how that feels. Keeping your eyes closed and your gaze inward just helps further connect to listening with our body, helps us further connect to our breath. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can pick up that left foot and cross the left ankle on top of the right. Making sure that your left side isn't peeling up off the ground. So you're trying to let gravity work with you. You're trying to keep the left side of the body on the ground, or gravity's gently drawing it towards the ground. Checking in if you're in a position comfortable to breathe fully into your belly. That you're not holding your breath, you're not holding any tension in the breath, that you're able to breathe throughout the whole pose. Inhaling nourishment, detoxing with the exhales. Inhaling nourishment, detoxing with the exhales. Inhaling nourishment, detoxing with the exhales. Breathing into the left side, creating space, opening up the meridians down the left side of the body, stretching the fascia, releasing the connective tissue on the left side of the body. Our fascia is connective tissue, and it's one piece of tissue from our head to our toes. And it goes through muscle, around bones. And it gets tight and stiff and gnarled up life goes on. And it's equally important to exercise as it is to target and release our fascia. It helps drain our lymphatic system. It helps the body. Create synovial fluid, tissue repair, collagen. It helps us emotionally detox as well as physically detox. We store and hold a lot of emotions in our fascia, a lot of suppressed trauma. We store toxins, heavy metals, chemicals that we absorb just through our products and sometimes drinking water, the air. So by practicing Yin Yoga, we positively stress and release the fascia. It's very important after Yin to flush the body by drinking a good amount of water or tea or lemon water to just flush any toxins that were brought up, help bring them out. And then when you've completed this pose, uncrossing the left ankle, releasing the bind with the hands, coming into a resting pose of your choice. I'm going to come into teepee legs. So I'm going to bring my knees up, my feet up. My feet are going to be as wide as my mat, and my knees are going to knock together like teepees. And then I'm going to goal post my arms like cactus arms, and just open up here, cross through the chest, tucking the chin down the center line. Take a deep breath into the belly. Exhale and sigh out the mouth. Another deep inhale into the belly. Exhaling and sighing out the mouth. Just noticing how you feel compared to the beginning of the practice. Perhaps your body's reaching into its parasympathetic nervous system a little better now. Our parasympathetic nervous system is when we're in our rest and digest mode. Our body's able to heal, restore, and often our body's in the sympathetic nervous system, which is yang, like our sympathetic nervous system is a fight or flight mode. We're always turned on, we're always thinking, we're always go, go, go. So it's important to practice yin-like activities or yin practices to help bring homeostasis to the mind, to the body, to help the body digest better, to help relieve tension, to help connect with our breath. So as important as it is to have yang, it's equally important to have yin. Yin and yang, right? A balance of the two. When you're ready, you can just hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe rocking side to side, massaging the lower back, perhaps making some circles with the knees. Almost like you were painting a circle on the ceiling with your knees going in one direction. So then pausing and then reversing the circle in the opposite direction. Great. Do a few more circles. And then we're going to bring our legs, and we're going to just drop our legs. You may want to use your pillow here. You may want to put your pillow between your thighs. If you have a second pillow, you can put the pillow on the left side. We're going to windshield wiper our legs towards the left. So our feet are going to be wide. And then we're going to gently drop our legs towards the left side. The pillow between the legs is a nice added cushion, a nice support. A pillow under that left thigh helps bring the earth to you. So just be mindful if you feel any pinching or pain in your lower spine, come out and use the pillow. Don't force the legs to go down towards the earth. Never forcing. Just being mindful of where you're at today, how your body's feeling today. And use support if needed. Chin's down the center line. The base of the skull is supported by the earth. The backs of the hands are pressing into the earth. Breathing deep, nourishing breaths into the belly. Detoxing with the exhale. Deep, nourishing breaths into the belly. Detoxing with the exhale. Shoulder blades are connected to the earth. Twisting out our organs, our abdomen. Inhaling the legs back up to center. Taking a breath here in the center. And then exhaling the legs down towards the opposite side to the right. Noticing if there's a difference between the two sides. Remembering if you feel any pinching in the lower back, to come out, use a pillow, perhaps under the right thigh, or a pillow in between the legs as a little added support. Even if you don't need a pillow or extra support, sometimes it's nice to just give our body extra cushioning. Never forcing our bodies. Always listening to our bodies, honoring our bodies and where they're at each day. Bringing your legs upright. And then perhaps just finishing off with hugging your knees into your chest, maybe rocking them side to side. Perhaps you want to come into a quick happy baby, which is holding on to the outer edges of the feet and pressing the hands into the feet up towards the sky. Chin tucked down the center line, maybe rocking side to side, massaging the lower back. Seeing where you're at. And then dropping the heels towards the bottom. And we'll outstretch our legs for our final resting pose, our final Shavasana. Perhaps you'd like to put a little pillow under the backs of your knees. One pillow under each knee is great if you have it. Perhaps You want to add an added pillow on top of your hips to just help ground you down towards the earth. Just taking a moment to set up your resting pose. Your feet are wide, mat width distance apart. Your palms are facing upwards towards the sky. Your chin is tucked down the center line. Your shoulders are gently drawing towards each other. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Breathing deep into the belly, noticing the belly expand. Big, big, big. Exhale and sigh out the mouth. One more deep inhale into the belly. Exhale, sighing out the mouth. Closing your eyes. Just letting your breath return to its natural rhythm and flow. Releasing your muscles. Feeling your body soften. Letting your body get heavy. Feel very, very heavy. Imagining your body and your limbs heavy like lead. And you're just melting into the earth. Feeling tension escape the fingertips. Tension escaping the palms of the hands. Tension escaping the wrists. Forearms soften. The upper arms relax. Shoulder blades relax. The waist softens. The hips are heavy and connected to the earth. The glutes soften and release. Thighs are heavy and melting towards the earth. Releasing tension in the knees. Calves are heavy and melting towards the earth. Releasing tension in the ankles. Tension escaping the soles of the feet. Releasing the lower back. Releasing the middle back. Releasing the upper back. Whole back body lets go. Feeling the base of your skull supported by the earth. Your brain is resting, heavy and relaxed. Softening your forehead. Imagining your eyeballs are on hammocks resting. Gravity's drawing them towards the earth. They're heavy. Releasing the muscles around your mouth. Softening the tongue. Relaxing the throat. Relaxing your heart center. Relaxing your abdomen. Envisioning your organs floating apart from each other, unclenching and releasing. Completely letting go. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. Noticing the rise and the fall of the belly with the inhales and the exhales. Notice the air touching your skin. Notice your clothes touching your skin. Just to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, waking up the body, rotating the wrists, rotating the ankles, turning your head left, turning your head right, rolling over onto either side, left or right, in fetal position. Breathing into your rounded back body. And then pressing your way up to a seated position, moving with your eyes closed or your gaze low. When you get to a comfortable seated position, closing your eyes, bringing your hands into prayer at your heart center, and just finding some gratitude for yourself, finding gratitude for yourself, for your body. Our relationship with our body is the longest relationship we'll have in our life. The body carries us through our entire life. Thanking yourself, thanking your body, thanking yourself for practicing some self-care, honoring your intention one more time. Honoring each other for coming together and practicing. Sealing the practice, we'll bring our thumbs to our eyebrow center and we'll bow our heads and say namaste.